Hello, everybody, and welcome. Ooh, looks so different today. I don't know. The lighting looks different. Not too sure why, but hey, I'm going to take it. I like this lighting. Makes me look good. So, anything that makes me look a little younger, let's just do it. Anybody have any tape? We'll just tape things up. That's what they usually do. They tape them so that, things just look, or they just go. So welcome to the crazy show. I am your host, the Guru Mama, Mary June Tracy, psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and I welcome you today. Welcome to my beautiful, lovely corner of the world, and I'm hoping everybody's doing really well. I went on my walk this morning. Didn't do my TikTok this morning. This morning was about opening the heart chakra and the heart chakra, and doing my yoga this morning and having to do, I can't cross. I don't know if anybody else can. I can't cross my arms. There's too much here, and sometimes too much. There's just too much in the way for me to cross my arms like that. So we had to do that and then do a bow this morning. So I just had to go like this and then do the bow because there's so many bumps and jiggles and wiggles in the way. So anyways, I don't know where that came from. But today the moon's in Libra. I like the moon in Libra. It really makes me feel a little bit more balanced. It helps. With all the energy in Virgo. And as I always say, I love Virgos because Virgos organize me, but sometimes Virgos can be, like any sign, like, even with Scorpios, we can be really like, focused and cray cray. But, with, they can be fucking annoying. As I said on my Instagram live today, I had to work with a bunch of Virgos, and they were annoying as hell at times when it came to getting things done or how they wanted it done. And they wanted it all done in a certain way. And if it wasn't done in that way, they would kind of freak out. And at times it could be very stressful. And when you have Mercury and Mars and Venus all in Virgo, it can be stressful. Like you could be like overly hyped up or overly focused on people, on issues, on what somebody said, and over analyzing a lot. So that energy can come in quite heavily for you. And this is where, if you're having stressful, and it could be like then you're overdoing, and it can also give you a sense of hopelessness, because you feel like, oh, am I doing it right? Am I and freaking the fuck out? And that's not where, your God, that's not where we want you. My guides are showing that it's like almost where they have this hand, and they're trying to bring people back into their alignment, into their light, because they're just so overly focused or hyper focused on world affairs, on what's going on, caught up with the news or caught up with everything that's out there. And where Jupiter is retrograded at 28 degrees right now, and is at the same where Mercury was in March of last year with all the lockdowns. So all of the heavy talking about all, the lockdowns and all that. So everything is overinflated. Plus we have hyperinflation. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that with that Jupiter energy right now, and where things are just hyperinflated, hyper this. So what's really nice with Venus on Sunday going back into Libra, maybe, well, I feel like it's more of a level-headedness. And that's having a Libra sun and a lovely grandson with Libra moon. Libras do bring in a sense of calmness. It's like, okay, what's going on here? you know, just settle down. You don't have to get so hyper. You don't have to get so, calm down over there. Let's look at this. So that Libra energy coming in, because the Libra is the higher end of what Virgo is. Taurus is the mundane world, wanting to make sure everything is safe and secure and pretty and doing, I also have two kids with the same child that's like, let's calm down, also has a Virgo moon, or not a Virgo, a Taurus moon. It's that Taurus energy, that likes the nice things. The higher end with the Libra has the scales. It's bringing in the scales of justice. It's bringing in, we have to look at the evidence. That's why one of the things that they were trying to look at or bring in was doing court cases via Zoom. And what they found with the court cases via Zoom, there's less empathy by the judge, because they were unable to really engage with that person, because it's not only, they're on Zoom, they have all this other thing. They can't see the whole picture, It's different with the one-on-one, especially with court cases. And so they found that a lot of times the judge, had less empathy, and they weren't able to give sometimes when you see the facts, you see the information, but then you can have a conversation and you can be with that person. And when you're with that person, you can see where, okay, this, they're ready for a change. They're ready to make a difference in their life. And then you could make a call on that, so it's not as harsh. This is where that, with that Venus, when she goes into Virgo or Libra, she's going to be allowing us to see things with a lot more empathy, with a lot more understanding. Yes, it's air. I mean, Libra is the Queen of Swords, and the King is, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. This is my intellect, but I trust in how that is coming in for me and how it feels. So trusting in that forward motion, trusting in this is the direction I know we need to be going into. That's what you get with Virgo. With I keep on saying Virgo. That's what you get with the Libra energy and with Venus in the Libra. And it helps with that level-headedness, because there's a lot for us that we might be discounting. Like, where are you discounting yourself? Where are you discounting in your life? And with with everything, it's like, are you getting curious? Like, wanting to try something different or something new. And doesn't have to be in a dramatic way. It could be just in the simplest of ways of trying a new bike, or trying something, or walking in a different direction. So getting curious on it and not over hyperinflating it, because the hyperinflation is there and it's easy to get into. And it's funny, I'm saying hyperinflation, and I saw two hot air balloons today, and how because they're inflating, and as they inflate, of course, they get larger, and looking at that inflation, but they eventually have to come down, right? So whatever you're hyperinflating or whatever you're discounting, I mean, it eventually has to come into your light, or it has to come down in some way. And you want to be able to direct in how you want it to come down. And I'm just thinking of hot air balloons, because they can't always say, they can have an idea of where they want to land, but sometimes they're not going to always land exactly where they want to land. There's a lot of, today was a perfect day for hot air balloon, because it wasn't windy. It was clear, and it was just and it wasn't too hot. So it was just a really beautiful day for a hot air balloon ride. So, but yeah, it's just getting curious. And I find, even for myself, putting down what I need to do and following through, making that promise with self is so important. Because when you're making that promise with yourself, then you're trusting yourself. If you've been making promises to yourself and breaking them, it's hard to trust yourself. It's hard to go along with it. And when you're saying, for like, it could be for certain little things, not putting the games on your phone, or not watching any news, staying away from social media, going for a walk once a day. Those are things that are tangible, things that you can do, that you can follow through with, and make it where you are making those promises to yourself. And when you do that, because then you're recreating the relationship with your body, you're recreating that relationship. And I talk about that in Journey Club. So in Journey Club, we talk about the relationship with your body. It takes a while for you to come back into that relationship, because when you have been I got my mother in my head, a miserable cuss to yourself for a long time, it's hard for your body to come back and honor that. It's hard for your body to come back and be, is she going to do it? Is she not going to do it? And that's where you find that you second guess yourself, because you haven't been trusting yourself. But when you know this is what I'm going to do and I follow through with it, then when you say something, you're going to follow through with it. There's no maybe, and you're trusting that intuitive part of yourself. You're trusting that intuition, not only your intellect, but that intuition part, because that Pluto and Neptune are making a sextile. They're making this beautiful sextile of saying, yes, trust yourself, because Pluto is disrupting the whole system. He's saying, this has to go, this has to go, this has to go, this has to go. So he's making huge changes within the world. And if you want to go back, it's just like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there to go back on. So we are heading in a new radical type of energy, and very Aquarius, definitely Aquarian type of energy, but not all of it's good, not all of it's bad. So this is where we have to come in to trust our own intuition and our intellect, and know what our course is, and staying upon our course and staying true to ourselves. I was listening to a short podcast with Kim Kardashian, and one of the questions came up, and it was even on the radio today too. And it's funny, I was listening to her and then she was on. Anyways, synchronicity. What is the one thing that you learned from a bad relationship or from a breakup? What is one good thing that you learned? And even though you might not like that person anymore, there's got to be something in there. There is something in there that you learned and that you came away from. And this is where it's like, okay, what did you learn that you could put into your own world? And for her, she talked about Cayenne. Anyways, I can never say his name, but how he would never, he loves himself. He loves himself. He's going to do what he loves. He's going to do, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And I'm not going to alter that for anybody. Just because it makes you feel good. So I'm supposed to make you feel good, and I feel like shit, not do what I need to do. Kyan comes in and he says, this is what I'm going to do. And he does it. As annoying as he is, as much as you may not like him, but he's true to himself. And that's part of what this Aquarian energy and that square to Uranus with Saturn and all of this is coming in, is saying, are you being true to yourself? Are you listening to your intuition and you trust it? Sometimes it doesn't make fucking sense. Trusting your intuition, and you're trusting it, and you're just like, this just doesn't make sense. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Everybody else is. It's just, why am I? Because it's not right. When I was making those predictions, and even the predictions I'm making now, it's like they may not sound right, or they're going against everything that's going on out there, or whatever scientific information that's coming through. I'm just like, it isn't right. It isn't right. It's not It's not good. And I have to trust that. I have to stick with it. And even though others are like, getting angry at me, or they're, some say, some like, oh yeah, do whatever, it's up to you, whatever. But it's strongly recommended that you do XYZ. But you're like, no, that's not in my alignment. That's not my road. That's not where I need to be. I got to be true to myself. And especially when Venus goes into Libra, it's being true to who you are. I've never met, like, when you really get into and start talking to a Libra person, they're true to who they are. They're not going to alter. They're going to be who they are. Yeah, they'll be diplomatic and they'll be caring, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. I mean, that's a lot of air signs, but it's, with Libras, because they are the cardinal. It's like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is the direction I'm going into, and stepping up to their truth, stepping up to who, not allowing them, not discounting themselves. Not discounting themselves. And that's what I love about that. It's like, don't discount yourself because others think this is better and this will make me feel more comfortable. And in doing that, just sends you off on a like rolling down a hill, and all you're doing is just collecting everybody else's shit as you go down. And that's not where you want to go. You want to go down what is true for you. And that is going to be a tough one for some people, for a lot of us, because we are, there's going to be such a push for you to be or act something differently than the truth of who you are. And so many people out there are going to tell me that, oh, I could just be me, which is awesome and great, and I'm glad you can. But there is a part there, and I can feel it within the consciousness right now, that people are on this crazy edge, and there's this, it's Into the Woods. I don't know if it's Into the Woods. I don't think it's Into the Woods. It's one of the fairy tale ones. And you got the house, you got the village, and you have the fence. And on the other fence is the woods, right? And the woods are the darkness. There's a darkness in the woods. And you're not supposed to go into the woods because of the darkness, and many people who've gone in don't come out. So it's like almost where it's people are going outside of what they know is true for themselves, and they're at that edge of the darkness, at that edge, and they're saying, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? And as they're standing at the edge of this darkness, and this is what my guides are showing me, many are just walking into it, like walking into this mist or walking into this darkness. And no, but there's still part of them, but they're ignoring their truth, they're ignoring their intuition. And when you're ignoring that part, and you walk over, and then there's no way of coming out. Like once you're in there, it's very difficult to get out. Very difficult. And very intense right now. And it is going to increase. I mean, throughout the weekend, we have a moon in Scorpio all weekend, so that's going to cause some craziness for people. Because when the moon goes into Scorpio, it's squaring off Saturn. It's going to be squaring off Jupiter. It's going to be opposing Uranus, and Uranus is slowing down. And it's going to go retrograde right before the full moon. So we got this Uranian energy that's saying, okay, are you ready for the radical changes that are coming forth? Are you ready to stand in who you are truthfully, wholly, and completely, and set the course of what you need to set forth on this journey? Are you with the people that you can trust and that will protect you, and you can protect them? Are you on this? Is this the right boat? Is this where you need to be? And that's where a lot of the intensity is coming in, because there's many people, many are like, you know what? I'm just going over here because it's just going to make my life so much easier. I'm going to go and I'm going to do this because then I could just do what I want to do, and I could just, live my life, and I don't have to worry about any bullshit. And I don't give a shit if I have to show this or show people what what I have and what I don't have. Like, I'll give that up. And that's where the scariness is. And that's where, they're showing you. And with that sextile with Neptune is saying, really, you really want to go over there? Because remember, when we're dealing with the outer planets, it is the God realm. And when we're dealing with the God realm and they're like, oh, you want to go there? Okay, there you go. But you got to pay the consequences for your actions. You got to take 100% responsibility for what you are choosing as you step over into that darkness. You got to accept it. And sometimes when you're over on the other side and in the light, it's like, but everybody over there is partying and it looks like a lot of fun. But they're not showing you the other stuff, the other shadows, the shading, the other things that are going on. Where over here, it looks like, oh, but this looks like so much fun, or this doesn't look like so much fun. Yet over here, it's like, well, I feel healthy and I feel vibrant and I don't feel like I'm dragging my ass, and I'm getting clear and I'm being true to who I am. I'm allowing myself to be that vibrant person of who I am. And I'm not altering that part of me because somebody else is saying this is what you need to be doing. And someone I was talking to, and it was just a crazy conversation. We went down a rabbit hole. And they said to me, they were talking about the mark of the beast and what the mark of the beast is. And it just, look it up. I'm not going to go into it now, but look up what the mark of the beast is. Because a lot of people think it's a scanning, but it's not. But just for your own, because there is this energy that's coming in to create that. And it's like a carnival. It's like, come on in. Everything looks fine. Everything looks great. We're all, everybody's laughing and looks like they're having a great time. But what's after the carnival? What's after all of that? Are they looking at the long term? And that's where, it's like, no, they're not. And that's where the scariness comes in, and that's where the tension comes in. So we're looking at where we don't want to lose who we are, and we don't want to be discounting ourselves in our truth and in who we know within inside ourselves, and opening our heart and opening ourselves to that light, to that divine being, and allowing ourselves to step forward into the divine light of our truth. And sometimes, standing, anybody who's stood in their divine truth has always had opposition, has always been pushed down or ridiculed or thought less than. They're not they're not ones who come in and everybody says, yeah, what, yeah, I want to hang out with you. Because somebody who's standing in their truth and being that radical divine being, you're just like, I don't know if I want to be associated with them because everybody's over here, right? We just need to love each other, whatever the choices we all make. Exactly. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. That's what we want to happen, but that's not going to happen. It's going to take a lot. The radical changes that are coming in. It's not. Unfortunately, there's going to be such a push. I mean, right now on airplanes, you got a section over here for certain people. It's like over here is the smokers and over here is the non-smokers. So it's like on airplanes, you're segregated already. So this is the same way. You can use this bathroom and you can use that bathroom. Oh, you are able to use this drinking fountain and you can use that drinking fountain. And that's where that's the push. And people, even though it's and that's where the Libra comes in to bring in the balance and trying to look at the balance of it all. But the scales are not balanced right now. The scales are very out of balance. And even for information, the scale is very out of balance on information coming in. And how much other people are getting kickbacks from all of this, like immensely, and aren't going to say a damn thing. So it's interesting to watch and interesting to see those who've gone over to the other side. And I watched a Jim Carrey thing the other day and he was calling people out. It was an old clip that he did. But he called out a lot of different hosts and news anchors and that on how they've all gone over to the dark side. And they won't talk about it. They won't say it because there's no way in hell they're going to say it on camera. But how they've taken that. No, we'll continue this narrative over there to make sure everybody stays in this lineup. Everybody stay over here in this lineup and you follow this narrative and everybody's going to be fine. Yet that narrative is the dark one. And by the end of the summer, and we're going into September, we're going to be seeing it. We're going to be seeing it really. I feel sorry for those who have to work. I feel sorry for those who have to work in retail or anything like that, because there's going to be a push for people to do things they don't want to do. And that push is it's deadly. It's deadly. It's deadly. And some people don't like to talk about it. A lot of people are better at talking about it than I am. They have a more their language about it is more fluent, and yes, they can give me all of the information medically about shit, but I'm just like, no. My dad had that too. My dad knew things, like it was amazing. Like he would go to the doctor and the doctors would say, well, you need this and this and this. And my dad would look and he goes, no, I don't need that. I don't like that. That doesn't feel right to me. And they'd be going, well, you have to take it or you're going to die or something. And my dad says, I'm not going to die. If I take it, I might die faster. With it, I'm not going to take it. Even when he was in the hospital, if they changed something out, he knew and he could feel it and he trusted it. He trusted it. Same with anything, like his sister was supposed to go for, my Auntie Agnes had to get an operation on her back. It seized. And he said, don't get an epidural. Don't get a shot in your back. Don't do it. He said, have them do some other anesthetic or something else. And she was convinced to take the epidural. And she ended up being paralyzed all on her one side, on her left side. And my dad, he just knew. He said, no, I just knew that would happen. He goes, not everything that they say comes out is true to fact. Same when they were trying to vaccinate me when I was a kid. And it wouldn't take. they were getting angry with me because it wouldn't take. I didn't get any markings on me. They tried to do it, and so my dad said, "No, she's not meant to have it. Leave her alone." And that was it. She wasn't meant to have it. And just trusting in that, like just knowing in that. Um, and I've been fine. Like I've, you know, basically good. So it's trusting in what you have to do. And sometimes there's such a push, and that's what's happening, such a push being put upon people, and they're, some people are like, it's no problem. It's no problem. I mean, it's just, it's they're just your regular papers, but are they? Are they? And that's where things get taken away from people. And I'm sending out so much love and peace and joy into this world that I truly, but you got to look at where you are being discounted and where people are being discounted in your own life, and standing in your truth and who you are. And that's the ultimate, where we are going to see people, really standing up more and more in their truth. And because of the way the culture is going, they don't want you to, because you're going against whatever craziness. And I keep looking out there because it's out there, the craziness that they want to bring down. And this energy is showing you that you got to stay with your truth. You got to stay with what your routine is, what you need for you. And and it's easy to say, let people be who they want to be. True enough, let them be who they want to be. But at the end of the day, there's just something else there. And that's what my intuition is telling me, and that's what I can see and feel. And I got to go with it. Just like, when with the markets and everything else, right? Very much so. Very much so. When we start seeing in our own country, in Ontario, in Quebec, the Maritimes, where they are now, you have to line up if you're going into the Maritimes. If you're flying just on a regular flight, there's two lineups that you have to take. They separate you, and then they separate you on the plane. And in that, the thing is that once you go along with their narrative, they got you. If you don't go along with their narrative, you're a radical, and they can't control you. And if they can't control you, they don't like that. They don't like that. And there's a lot that are coming out that are radicals. You might want to call a radical, or a person like Kanye West is, he's a radical. He does what he wants. I mean, this is a guy who's like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. This is what I'm doing. That's not right. I mean, it's done him, and you watch him, and he's built up, and he's followed his heart with what he knows is true to him. If it doesn't feel right, he's not going to do it. And the thing is that, you need to do what is right for you. Yes, but a lot of times people don't know. I'm not going to say people don't know what's right for them, but a lot of times when you got to do what's right for you, but people are being, with the propaganda, being told this is the right thing to do, yet not all the truth is coming out. And that's the thing, is like, not all the truth is coming out on everything. And people, and even, aren't given the full truth on everything. And that's the sad part. So much is being held back for people. And when we're not even seeing a proper debate on things. And that's where the Libra energies, I know the moon's going to be only in there for a short time, But when the sun gets into Libra and then goes into Scorpio, it's we're going to be heading into a little bit of crazy town, and more information is going to be starting to come out, and especially in December. The shit's really going to be hitting the fan, and especially for those who've been vaccinated, there's going to be shit that's going to come out, and I feel sorry for those who have. And my kids have been vaccinated, and I shake my head because it's not approved. It's not approved. And so filling people up with shit that's not approved and hasn't been properly tested, and the testings that were done, all the animals died. So, people are thinking I had, when I was in the hospital 2 months ago, and the nurse was talking to me and everything. I'm just and I was just listening. I was polite. And she says, well, and then she goes to me, she goes, will you get a tetanus shot? I said, yeah. She goes, then what's your issue? I said, because a tetanus shot is 100%. I get it. I know. That's it. I get it. I don't know what I'm getting. It's not the same. And that's where the alien energy comes in. It's not the same. It changes, and it goes to a part of your body that's not where it's supposed to go. So in many ways, it weakens you. It weakens you. So, and it's maybe not right away, but time will tell. And we're going to be seeing some crazy radical things come out on people, unfortunately, which is going to be interesting, to say the least. And right now, to donate blood, not everybody can donate blood anymore because not all the blood's being used. So that's another interesting factor too with it all. So we're going to see some craziness that's going to happen. And this week, as we're heading through to this week, choices are going to be made. People are going to have to make, are going to be making more choices, staying true to who you are. That Uranus, as it's, is radical. So it's going to be bringing in some radical information. And this is very Aquarius energy. This is crazy Aquarius energy. And Aquarius energy can get you all over the place with all of this things that are in a different world. And sometimes we can feel like we're losing our way, but prayer, meditation is really going to be the key to everything. I feel anyways, maybe not for everybody, but finding your form of meditation and prayer is setting out and sending your love out on a daily basis to people. So on that note, I'm going to send you guys out with so much love. So much is going through my head today. Sending you guys out some greatness and some beauty, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Have a blessed one, everyone, and shine your light. Don't let anybody take your light away. Keep on shining it. Be true to who you are, and don't let anybody fuck with you. Blessings.